Well, hello, and welcome. This is Joanne with the Jewel Design, and we are back. As I said, we'll make this a series. So we are working on the Milva Rose Autumn Journal, or the Autumn Milva Rose Journal. And we have always loved it. We have a 64-page signature going on right now with digitals printed for myself, some digitals printed from Graphic Fairy in her weathered lace paper kit. Loving it. Printing it on a bunch of different things with eco dyes and coffee dyes and, ephemera that we played with. We did a lot of stenciling last video. It's actually the same week, gasp. And so these are all inked, they're all ready to go. And so we're just going to work on some of the pages today. Working on a tuck, working on some tucks and pockets within here that are some fun. And then I don't know if we'll get this far to this back one, but if not, we'll maybe make that a quick video on its own. And tag on, I have to come up with the rest of the ideas of what else pocket-wise to put underneath these lovely fold-out envelopes that we, messed with last week. So we'll try to keep it short and sweet, but So what we're gonna do is we'll actually take this page out for the moment. How do I want to do this and not forget where I put it? Maybe we'll do it like that. I'm like, I hate missing out pages and then finding out you put them back in the wrong spot. Plus we have the cover to work on, so that'll be a lot of fun. So today we're taking the coffee dyed paper that was actually really long, and I didn't want to cut it down. I thought, well, let's fold it back and let's put it to good use. So in this case, we're going to have a tuck on this side by just simply gluing top and bottom. It's going to make a nice, good size, like large tag or a large journal card tuck if I decide to make, more Mod Podge collaged journal cards. This is a great place to put it. So we're going to decorate this up. And then this is the other back side that we talked about where we've got some up tucks and some little pockets that is just folded really cool. So we'll probably do a triangle with pattern back here, pattern here. I don't know if I'll cover the bottom. We may let the journal card that goes up in here be the color for down here. And then this one is going to have, again, maybe some color here, paper here. Again, whatever we tuck up here might be our, or we cut paper here, and let the journal card be our color for this page, letting some of that lovely eco dye come through. In this case, coffee dye. So, who knows? I pulled some stuff, got some things. We're going to move right on. Hope you're all doing really, really well. Middle of the week, right? This is probably going to be a Wednesday evening. It's Wednesday afternoon. I've got my daughter to her internship and back again. And I'm home again, I should say. I didn't realize I didn't think I'd be commuting. Who knew, right? Okay. So what we are doing, see, it's just too far out. I want to move you in a little bit. Okay, good. It's like, I gotta be able to see what I'm doing here. There we go, make some adjustments. So sorry. All right. So what I did is I had leftover paper, leftover canvas. Once I cut down the cover canvas that I wanted for this thing and I had leftovers, I went ahead and inked, stenciled, stamped, just, played with it, had a blast. And we're going to put it down. I could make it a belly band, but coffee dyed paper isn't always sometimes super stable. So I don't know if I want to make this a double, where you get a tuck for a card here and a tuck here. So maybe we'll start off, bless you. We'll start off with just gluing top and bottom when I put this down, but I really want to decor with this, and I really feel like that is going to, well, what we could do is glue the bottom. Glue this down, keep it in place. Maybe it's a smaller tuck on the top, so we got some layers. And at some point, I just don't have anything to put in it. I can always go and glue the upper half and seal it, so it doesn't become an issue, right? So we can always do it that way. No one says we have to be stuck, one way or another. I am going to definitely, though, glue down the inside here, because I know this is going down as a tuck. I know that you want to put a nice, simple, collage or flat journal card in here, nice and large, that will be at least tall wise, to really utilize the page space, because we're losing some of our coffee dyed space by, folding it in. So by folding it in, we lose this whole writing space, right? So by giving it a tuck or a pocket here, we get to put a journal card that we can pull out. So I will probably have to make a large, scrap collage journal card that we can just smoothly put right in here. But we're going to thicken this up a little bit by adding, materials down. So I do like doing a little bit of a, I got caught. There we go. A little bit of a border edge where it is not perfectly top to bottom. I want to be able to see a little bit when I do this, a little bit at the top, right? I don't want to go all the way to the top, and I don't want to go all the way to the bottom. And even though the bottom is going to be covered, I want to make sure that I'm comfortably sitting where I want to be. There's a dot on this page here, so I am just going to utilize that as my point of reference here and hope I cut straight. But we're going to cover up some of that. But I'm going to get just to be on the safe side. Let's not do this. So yeah, I'm having problems. I always do. As much as they, you know, they give you these beautiful pins. They say they're not there to, you know, unclog, which they're not. The moment mine gets a slight bit of a twitch in it, you know, then you're having to twist it to get it in. So I may not be able to leave that in today. Okay, so anyway, we're gonna ink the bottom. I put a new dauber on it. Oh my gosh, a new sponge to my dauber because oh my gosh, that was getting bad. Okay, so like I said, we'll probably glue top and bottom, but what I did want to do is to make this a little bit more stout. Now I took the napkin and I cut out the pumpkin. So this was the napkin. Pumpkin was on the front and back. It's very old vintage. You can tell it's a little, you know, it's separated. Not so much on that side, but I know when they printed on this side, this must have, you know, it definitely has where the yellow print work moved. But anyway, I fussy cutted it out. But I left the bottom because I'm hoping that I'm going to tuck it up underneath a little bit, like right here on the edge kind of deal. We're going to put it right on the bottom edge of the last leaf. I want to tuck it up and see. I'm trying to see how, if we could sort of use it to help strengthen all of this. But I want to make sure that when we do it, everything stays within parameters. A little farther. But yeah, I never thought I'd be commuting again. Jeez, I haven't commuted in a long time. I used to work in Gilroy for a newspaper when I was newly married. Jeez, 20 something years ago. I ended up working for a newspaper 30 plus miles one way, and then I moved to a newspaper about 20 miles the other way. See another scrap, yay! And you know, instead of working nights, I got to work days, which I thought was really cool. For me, I was like, ah! Okay, so what I'm going to do is we're going to try to carefully, I'm going to try to carefully move this up and use the glitter glue to create myself my first little motif here, which I moved it. Luckily, I folded it so I could see where I was at. What I'm trying to do is line up the bottom of the pumpkin and the that is not sticking at all. Interesting. I'm like, why? That napkin is like absorbing that glue and not sticking. Now there are two layers. I did leave a layer of the napkin in between. I did not go super thin like we would normally do if we were doing Mod Podge and we were doing a fabric tissue cover. You normally take off every layer of white. So you just have this, which makes a nice transparent feel to it. But I did not do that this time. And I think, let's see if I can do it. I am going to cut up a little bit so that, more than I wanted, but that's okay. Oh well. Here, we'll just do this. Oh well. There we go. I do want this will be overlapped a little bit, but I don't want to go too crazy with it. But anyway, I left the two layers of, in this case, a napkin, and one make it more not so transparent. And I will do a little bit of inking in between. I don't want so white. Let's do a little bit of debunking here and get some of that coloring out. So I am just using one of my smaller ordeals and getting in here. But you know, tissue, paper, stickers, I mean, there's so many ways to decorate. You know, and in this case, the less tissue you have, the more transparent it is. So you get a more see-through feel, more of a thin, like a clear sticker feel. This case, I don't really want the background here to come through too much. But I do, which I'm lucky I haven't completely glued this down, wanted to put 2 layers behind the pumpkin. A couple layers behind the pumpkin, actually. Quite a few, and I did glue that up farther than I expected, so I may have to cut some off. I took one of my yellow ribbons, and I cut it in half. As you can see, a sort of jagged bleed went down the side here. And I'm going to try to line it up I did not go straight up there either. But I realized in the end I did not get that down. So we're going to do a couple things. As usual, I cannot cut straight in any manner, right? I don't plan on decorating away up here, so I would like this to be as clean as I can. So that maybe, let's see. There we go. I don't feel like I have to cover up a boo-boo. All right. So we got layers. Can we see well enough, huh? I'm again letting the things border, leaving little edges so we get dimension. I'm gonna go all the way down with this just to make it easier, and I'm gonna probably cut it short, and then we're gonna put some paper and some other things behind this. Let's just, yeah, that does not cut as well as I thought it would. I really thought that wouldn't be an issue. Oh, it's because I'm on the edge of the, because that is the edge of the shears, apparently. All right, scraps. Okay, so what I want to do is, though, to keep it as flat as possible, I'm going to put the ribbon down first. Then I'm going to put some paper down behind. We're going to cluster behind this thing, behind the, ooh, that was a clump of something. Well, that was rude. Guess we've got stuff sitting up in the, oh, there we go. I'm going to get the ribbon down first. Then we're going to put some paper down. I have some cardstock over here in pattern. Probably way more than I need right now. Eek, eek, eek. No, don't, damn it. Yeah, my glues have been out in the garage. I know better. Let's go over, up. Squish, squish, squish. I did get to play a little bit last night with my ephemera. Some of the stuff that I didn't do on camera that we were, talking about, or I needed to finish. And so that was sort of fun to get going and get back in the rhythm of things for today. And that is just going to keep unraveling, which it shouldn't. That's the funny part. That's why you use shears sometimes, is to help keep things from unraveling. And yet, it doesn't always work, does it? All right, so we've got that covered. So what I was hoping is I would just try to lightly decorate this and give it, some dimension, not just a flat page, So what I found in my concoctions here, hold on, let me get that out of the way, was this lovely gingham. It is orange, but I think if we put the green, see, I know it's orange on orange. It's a lot of orange, but I was hoping a little green mesh over it might not be seen. What is this? Oh, look what I found. Yay. I don't know if I'm going to use that. Where did those go? I had a bunch of them. Where did I get those from? Some project I must have bought something, and that's what they came with. I tuck things everywhere. Okay, so I could try to rip this and do some of this green over it. I just don't know if it's enough, right? Or do we put green and I put something else? I do a different mesh behind it. Can't really tell. I really think maybe we do need green. I think we need a new color. I want to just do this. At first I was just going to put some green mesh behind it. Snow mesh. And it's this beautiful olive green sage color. But you're really not going to tell it's green. It's just decor, which is sort of a bummer. I love this stuff. It's great when it's all bunched up, but it's sometimes hard to tell what color you're working with. A little bummed. So what I'm wondering is, I wonder if I have a green version of that, because I love the gingham checkered pattern. There's this perfect stripe. Yep. Okay. So do I go this? Now, if I still want some kind of texture, though. No, but I do have the green on green just to give it more oomph. Yeah, I think a torn piece of that behind it with that little bit of green just to help level it out. And then if I want to, I can definitely put a little bit of that behind it, or even the cream, either way. So let's try this. This is really becoming my new favorite stuff. I love it. All right, so I'm going to leave this out, though, because I think it's going to be useful for another project. We do have a number of pockets to make. Pockets and or clustered collaged journals, journal card stuff. I have some pieces, of course, in the kit, but I don't think it's going to be enough, guys. I think I have a lot of weird spots that I'm going to have to fill. Okay, so how do I want to do this? Let's do a little bit of a decal on one end, and then I will sort of hand tear the other sections that I think I'm going to want. There we go. Oh, that one's pretty. You know me, I love having these long strips. I can't help it. I was hoping I got my nail polish clear. Yes, I did. Okay. Put fresh nail polish on, but glue becomes a problem. Yeah, I'm waiting. I've got probably in a week. I've got gorgeous new black based white flower and orange pumpkin nail set that I'm excited about. So anyway, what we could do is to keep going with this whole motif of lines is go up this way, and do we just tear? As you see, I'm not gluing this down quite yet. I want to make sure we get everything the way we want it before I go gluing. So what I'm thinking is, do we do a odd tear? And I wish I thought about it sooner, because if I could get it down farther, it would help reinforce this, but that's okay. So do I try to just do an odd tear right here? I think so. Right? Always keep tearing. And, you know, sort of make it big and hope for the best. Let's see. And I'm spending a lot of time on this one, but I thought this would be a really pretty page. We've got to do, and see, it didn't work at all. Ah, bummer. That was not enough. Oh. And go up higher, and then just bring this down. Or I start turning it on its side. On its side is not a bad thing. Side and ink. Yep, okay. Let's get some brown. No, I don't have green, do I? I have... Ooh. Well, I don't think the sage green would work. I think we need the brown stuff. We still need that antique-y, keep it vintage, dark. The nice thing is that even though this is an autumn rose and it has the potential to be very feminine, very Victorian, with the girls, the ladies in it, I don't have a lot of. We have a page of pretty girls in here. This is going to be very much, I think, more pumpkin and roses. So I can go a little bit more farmhouse. I can go a little bit more both elegant and fun, I think, with it. And so it's going to have a nice eclectic, slightly eclectic feel. I don't think it has to be a perfect one or the other. So we have that I'm liking very much. And then I just have to decide, do I keep the green going, and do I add a little bit of mesh underneath that, up and over, up and in, I mean, up and in, up and over, up and something. This doesn't really, oh, it sort of rips. Sort of rips, not interestingly. I mean, I don't know if it's really interesting or not, but I don't know if that'd make it better or easier. Nice thing is it's such a webby mesh that cutting it, like, still leaves a lot of interesting edges. So I never feel like it's ever a perfect cut. But what if we go behind that? Or extend it above. Yeah, because it doesn't go all the way down. I don't know if it's not enough to extend above. I always feel like sometimes it has to have an ending spot where it makes sense and not so perfectly cut. Something like that, maybe? Or I can cut it off. A little bit of texture down below. I really can't see it though. I'm like, texture below is sort of cool, and I just cut it off and let it be frayed. Do a little bit of both, maybe. Maybe I'll glue that down the best I can, cut off, and then add the tack it on behind. We're gonna go top and bottom. How's that? Let's see what we can do. It is a little harder to do because it is so light. That grasping enough of anything can be weird. So that's why you get your silicone tools. Some have flat, small spatulas. I have my thumb thing that I love, really, because then when you get too much, you just clean it off. Did I tell you I found it in the bottom of a jar? Jeez. Not that I don't mind, now I have backups, but yeah, so I'm like, really? Went looking for something else, and I was like, oh, I must have dropped it in there. Which I did. I think I dropped it in to cover up when the last time I went to go clean something up for some reason where I had to close this table. So when I have to close it, I have to clean it all off. Yeah, that'll work. And yeah, slight problem. So let's get you where I think I want you. in all aspects. Let's get a couple different layers going on here. We're going to drop you in here. We're going to drop you there. Try not to use your fingers. Yeah, that's the hard part. Don't use your fingers. And then, let me see if I can even get these two parts pulled apart where I need to. Yeah, there's a couple layers in here. To try and squish it out, keep them together, right? Over time, I'm going to have to keep an eye on it, and you know, may have to redo some re-gluing. Or a little bit of glitter glue on the edge may work too, if you don't have fabric tack. But, you know, it should help keep things drying or glued down. There we go. Nice thing, because I'm gluing this down, it should absorb up through. But, you know, let's see. This is where tweezers are helpful, if I can find them. There we go. Get in here between my... There we go. Now this will end up down flat somewhere. Alright, let's try that. And then I can get in there with the glitter glue. The only reason I suggest the glitter glue is because it has such a thin nose or neck on it that sometimes it helps us get where we need to go with it. Now, but this is paper, ribbon, and printable canvas, so I am definitely using the glitter glue to get it all down together because there is no chance of this working any other way. I don't think glitter glue by itself would work. Sometimes it does. Sometimes you have no choice. Like, I will use fabric tack and then find out that glitter glue isn't enough, or I use fabric tack and then like it's not enough, or it's just too tacky, it won't stay, it won't dry, something weird. And so it's great to go in there and like all of a sudden, you know. Now I'm going to tear this just a little bit downward because I want it to smooth in back into the edge here and not look like something that abruptly stopped over here. And I'm going to glue it down over here. There we go. We're just sort of creating a nice cute little cluster on the bottom to expand out the potential of a tuck. Right, we're expanding it this way, we're expanding it in many ways. So now it's simply gluing down this edge and these guys. So let's see. I know we need here. We need here. Just don't know. Let's just do this here, right? So that I'm aware. Yes. Oh, wait, did I get that side? And my paper towel. So the excess stuff I can pop up. And then that way I'm not really gluing this edge here down so it doesn't get in the way. Hopefully it will hold out. If I feel at some point it's not, I can always get a piece of paper in here underneath to make it a smoother transition. At any given point. Oh, okay. I'm trying to figure out which cat was coming outside. But we are going to glue it down over here. I want it to not get caught up and constantly ripped up in any way with the page and whatnot. This is the outside of the outside edge of the page. So towards the opening of the, what's the word? Outside opening of the, oh, there's my boy. Okay, good. Our new little boy, or no, not little boy, is our newer cat. Yeah, he's got to be about 3 years old at minimum. I was finding photos in my, I actually found photos in my camera reel of March and April of 2023. Him showing up, saying hi, hanging out on my pillows. I hadn't, 2 years ago, I didn't really cover up my pillows. I just made a pile of them underneath my deck and my deck overhang, and it was like, oh, they'll be fine, they'll be dry. And they were, but they got, you know, sprayed on by the boys, and they got laid on, and they, you know, like, oh, okay, they got a little abused. But I found a picture of him sitting there, not very happy with me for trying to take a picture of him in April. We were still getting even really rainy season still that year too, and so, oh yeah, last year, 2023. So rainy last year, you know, and then into the 2024. So yeah, it's, you know, he's been around for a while, and so, you know, he may have grown a little bit more since then. So I'm thinking he's probably closer to 3 years old. It's just sad that he's been, you know, out and about for a year and a half without real, I guess, no real owners. And so I was like, well, you know, you've been in my yard, in and out of my yard for some time. You are mine. It's official now. He's not liking the fact I won't let him outside, but he's adjusting to a leash. So he gets some outside time with us where it's safe. And over time, I think come spring, you know, we'll be able to let him back out under and try to train him again to stay, you know, within the yard or come right back, and that'll be good. So, okay. I'm loving that, guys. Isn't that gorgeous? So later, if I feel I need more bling, I can start adding in rhinestones or bling or something like that. If I really feel I need it. I don't think I do. I don't know how. I love just a little bit of the glitter, the silver thread that's in the mesh, the moss green snow web. Or not snow web. It's just a spider web mesh. And there is a silver thread throughout the mossy green. So I'm thinking that is plenty of just the right amount of glitter. We have a shine to the satin ribbon. And right now we have the potential of a higher tuck for a small and standard journal card here. And if it feels like it's going to keep falling out, I will just glue this down so we can tuck it in. You know, I'm going to do that because it's on the edge and I just don't think it would stay. Like the journal card would bounce around too much. I think I am going to just take a nice little ribbon of, nice little thread right here of glue and just make sure that it's just a secondary tuck. That way we can tuck a large card here and a medium card here, and you know, we're good to go. Or you can make it a hide hole or a little tuck away spot. So you have that option here. I will definitely put something here, and there we go. Isn't that pretty? And then this side will be decorated. The bummer side is, oh yeah, and then you get to write on this side. So yeah, I don't think I want to do too much on the sense of any diamante, pearl, whatever, because that is going to make it bumpy. And then it'd be really hard to write on that side. We don't want to do that. We want this to be as writable as possible. And if not writable, then, you know, tuckable. So there we go. Yeah, no, that makes it's pretty smooth. There's not a lot going on. I glued it well enough. And then the large journal cards in there, I should make it still pretty easy to write on. So, all right. Ta-da! Our first decorative page. So we got a double tuck. And then when we get a moment, we will have the other side. And, you know, next video we will work on this. Because I don't know what pages I want to use yet. That's weird. What is that? Markings. Okay, so the other things I wanted to work on today, which I was starting to do the work on, was the front and back of my vellum piece, which is gorgeous because you get to see the rose print through it. But I was trying to put a piece of banana paper, piano paper in here, and when I went to, because I should know better, we could do the same thing with vellum, to sort of thin it out and really press down on it to make the paper fold thinner, it's split right down. Because it's older piano paper. It came out of something I found in one of our thrift shop finds. So I was like, oh, well, that's not going to work. So instead of just a piece of paper in there, now we're going to make them into pockets. So they had some tears. They had some, you know, love and whatever. So we are going to fix this tear, of course, by putting up layers and whatnot so that can be a nice clean tuck. And then a similar concept on the back. So, but this one is pretty easy. I took one of our favorites, which I have not been able to find again, gold leaf mesh, where they printed the gold leaves and the dots on it. It makes for a wonderful layer, especially in the fabric flip and whatnot. So in this case, though, we're going to glue it down around the outside edges. We're going to put some mesh in here, some snow mesh. That's the green snow mesh I love in here. And then we're going to put one of my longer flags, and we're just going to glue it down. So it's just going to be a nice layer to help reinforce the fact that we do have a split right here in the paper, which is a bummer. But I tried to cut and tear the mesh to fit the curves of the paper, because that's just how they panned out. Like, that's just how it ripped. I didn't do it. It's how I found it. I must have used it somewhere else for something. And so I found the page and I was like, oh, I'll just fold it and put it in the book. Super cool. I didn't hold out, but that's okay. You take it, you use it, you utilize it, you make the most of it. I did come down a little. Okay. So I'm trying to get up close to the, oh, it's folded right there. Okay, well, I guess we'll keep it folded. I'm trying to keep it close to some of the lines in the, let's see if we can do this with carefully. Use this. Now, Starbucks cards, many things work to do this. A lot of ladies will use silicone kitchen utensils. My mom has, a couple spatulas that she loves using. Small ones that are perfect for this. I am trying to see if I can get the extra glue off this page without ripping it, which I've already done, so we'll see. Oh, all right. But I'm hoping everything we do sort of reinforced. But yeah, this has, I found, I think it's early 1900s, a piano book at our what's the word? Goodwill. It was great. Good sized pages. And so, because I think that's what this was from. It's a good sized page. I must have used it for something. But I found it in my stash of things when I was, what was I doing? I don't know, I was trying to make a thank you packets, I think, and I found it, and I was like, what is that doing over there? So I must have been doing something with it, but I was like, well, I want to use it. No idea what song it is or anything like that, which is fine, doesn't matter. It is simply going to be, hopefully, our pocket. And I figured this out. We could put a little bit of bling on this one, and whatnot extended, because it is more of a pocket and not a writing space whatsoever. There's no writing on a vellum. You can add more paper to vellum and do it that way, but we're going to line up somewhat with the lines of the thing. And we're just going to do this, and I'm hoping all of this is going, yep, it's reinforcing. That's lovely. Oh, jeez. Thing. No, it is really thin paper, and I'm a little worried about making it a pocket. That every time we try to put something in there, it's going to rip and tear. So I'm wondering, I need some kind of paper. Hold on, let me think. I'm wondering if I need to put this on paper and rip it again, so that it is. Nice thing is, on the inside though, when you flipped it open, you would see piano paper, or you're going to see the backside of a journal card. I just don't know if it's going to hold up. My worry is that every time we try to put something in and out, it's going to keep tearing. So if I don't reinforce it with another piece of paper, we're just going to, it's just going to get worse. As much as we love this, sometimes it's not durable enough to take any real wear and tear. So, you see, I'm just trying to do this and it's tearing. So, let's find a piece of paper. I used to have paper out. Where is it? I used to have scraps of like large parchment paper. The yellowy one. Because it's always like the wrong size, right? It's not really work to put in your printer. You have to always cut it down. And I gotta find it. Did I find one? I did. This lovely stuff. Easy peasy, right? And if I do it right, tear around it, and we, once we glue it down, if I sort of tear around it, with some help, I think we could ink that too, and it'd be a nice, another good layer. So let's try that, because I just don't feel like, destroying this poor thing and not making it a very reliable pocket. We'll do it front and back. A little bit of a bummer when we do put it in on the vellum side. When you open that page, you are just going to see a pocket of something, which I can't really do much about. I guess I could stencil it or something real quick. Let me think how, at least if we saw. I love gluing things to one side of vellum, but then you have to see the back side of it. That's not very fun. Not as fun. Not as exciting. So, no, do not glue yourself down. Jeez. Right. So let's give myself some space. I won't tear much on the outside rim and this far rim, because it's just going to border just right on the other side. Yes. I was like, wait. Because then this will be the pocket when we do it the other way. Alright, there's that. Let's see what edges we have. If any. Hope you're all doing really well. Hope you're having fun with your fall stuff. Maybe fall's arriving. This week has been cooler. Though today it's getting muggy. There is some potential rain in the forecast, but I think it's all around us, so it's just making the air sort of thick. It's like, oh, maybe 72 degrees and chances of sprinkles here and there, and I'm like, okay, but it hasn't. Monday it did. Monday it rained in our town, but not where her internship was, and which was weird. It just sort of stayed in our little town, and I was like, well, okay, and I was like, okay, well, it's fine with me, but sorry, I was like, well, you know, got everything wet and muddy, which is like, that's so much fun. So as long as I tear this outside the, try to tear it outside, not inside, which is what I'm doing right now. Shoot, 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 shoot. There we go. Well, good enough. And then we ink it, right? Now there's lovely inks and this more texture, which is fine. Now I gotta try to rip this way. And sometimes, because of left and right-handedness, you can't get the right angle. It doesn't have to be perfect, but what I don't want is it to go inside, underneath the, back underneath the piano paper. But I love my borders, I love my layers, so we are going to, now I could rip this one on the bottom, I could make it a little more interesting because it is a straight across, but here, we'll give it some oomph, even though this isn't, but this may give us opportunity to put some lace or something here on the bottom, and not make it feel so flat. We'll do the same thing to the back side because that is not going to fly. Now I can add, oh, I can do a couple things here. I just had a thought. I could probably put that Denim orange as a ribbon, like a washi across the bottom here. Ugh, gotta get ink on that dauber. Oh my gosh. Oh, sorry guys, hearing the thunks. That's from my robot thing that, you know, supposed to vacuum the floor for me every day. It's a 50-50. It gets something done. It 3 cats now and 2 kids in the house. It's like cheese and crackers. Okay, so here we go with under the middle. We're going to glue down top and bottom anyway. But I'm wondering, do I do a little ribbon here? And then we can put some pearls, or I have green. I do. Where'd it go? We could add some to get the green up to pop a little more. We could do some green bling on the orange on the bottom here. And I think that'd be really nice. Okay, so let's see how far in. We want to go about there, and we need all 3, or just the 2. Well, I could cut the top off if I want the 2 oranges a little bit more. So, all right, let's get some scissors going here. My wonderful, I'm off the page. I know I'm trying to eyeball measure, haha, and decide here how much I want. So I am going to cut down straight down the white middle. But I may end up cutting both of the white ends off of both sides because you want that checkered, but it might be too big. But what it could do is blend and keep it from looking like everything ends at a certain spot. Let's deco edge the edges. I like having maybe the edges be a little, well, I could go straight on that one to keep that flat, but we could do a little tear on the other end. All these little things, you just, so it looks uniform, but it's also, you know, so perfectly lined up at the same time because I can't help myself. This one though, I'm gonna actually use the orange. I think I'm gonna use my orange ink, my Harvest. So this is getting better. I've been leaving this sitting on top of my vintage because I was trying to see if it would soak up anything. But I hope you're all doing well. Hope fall's coming. We've had light weeks. Like, you know, it was barely 65 on Monday. It's maybe 72 today. I don't know if we'll actually see any rain or not. That'll be the interesting part. But then we're looking at like 80s and 90s. Like there's predicting, what was it, Monday or Tuesday? We could be in the 90s again. I'm like, really? Can we stop? Like we are not. Most of us are all ready for fall, right? We're like, no, we're good. Let's go. What can we do something else? We'd really like something else. Because, I mean, really. I think we'd all be really happy with an early fall. Doesn't have to go to rain, doesn't have to have snow yet, but just an early fall. Just watch the leaves slowly fall down and nice weather. Okay, so I'm loving that. That gives them more detail. I'm really stoked. These are actually coming around so much better than I expected. Usually I don't get to have this much fun with you guys. Or more, you know, the decorative end of it all. Usually I just see the nitty-gritty part. But these are all really pretty. So yeah, see, just using up the items I have, layering things up in different ways, trying to make it fancy, trying to make it simple, a little farm, a little fancy. Okay, so a single layer. Now I could do 5. So sorry. That's happening a lot too. I get mild allergies on occasion. I don't normally do a hay fever type thing. But who knows, with the extra cat, it's a new. So we're going to the bottom. I just don't know whether to go the full round of green or just 5. Because once I cut it, it's like once you cut it, but you know, it's fine. Let's see. Let's go down the line. So I can I need to pull back the extras, but I won't completely cut it off because I don't want to lose it or have little guys roaming around everywhere. Maybe we can center it somewhat, or it can just be off-centered again. Alright, so I can do it like that so it comes up short. More middle here. All the way. Yeah, let's go all the way. Just 2 more. What's 2 more? No, I do not ask whether that is an odd or even number. I'm going by length of what I need, not by count. When you offset it to one side, you know, odd numbers work nicely. 3, 5, 7. When you're sort of like offsetting it and you're making it its own little clustered element, then, you know, odd numbers are always really nice and great, you know, to the eye. Makes it a little bit more eye-catching and makes it a little less, I don't know, distracting, I guess. Why, I don't know. You would think even numbers would be just as good, but I guess it just depends on the placement. I think it's odd numbers, whatever's in the middle, that middle section of numbers is what you would center something on, so I think that's maybe why it works. Okay. Now, being that that is what it is, I do have a tendency, that is weird. Alright, this stuff is like, oh, it's cleaning out. I did that the other day. I took the top, the needle out of the top of my glitter glue, and, you know, a plug came out with it, and I was like, oh, sweet. Alright, well, that's beneficial, I guess. It's sort of nice to have that part come off. And I am going to put it right across where the white and the orange bottom one sort of meet up. So I'm covering a little white, covering a little orange. I'm not doing one or the other. Just sort of offset, again, what is necessary. These are little things that I do, you know. I could have put it straight down the middle of the white or the orange, but then you're covering up a color, and I feel like this does a little bit better when you just sort of center it this way. Oh, let's go like that. Okay. Look at that, ladies and gentlemen. That came out way better than I expected. I know it's hard. There we go. Oh, I hope you guys can see it. I'm loving it. Oh my goodness. Who knew? I'm really, really stoked, guys, that we went ahead and backed it so that we are not missing it. Now, the only difference is, so what happens is when you flip the page and you're looking at this one, like your next rows or whatever, we end up with a white space. And that doesn't look bad. I'll do a little bit more inking. It just looks like a piece of paper that I think for once is not bad. I guess I could do a little inking. Maybe I'll do a little bit of leaf stamping really quickly. Just lightly, so there's some texture maybe to it, but it's not like the end all. How's that? Let's do that. That way it's a little bit of both. We're making it, oops, something, but we're not overdoing it too much. I say that and I'm like, do. There we go. Why not? This orange stuff is something else though. Oh my gosh. Okay, so then when we do this, it's gonna be glued down. You're not gonna see it. And this is only when you pull out the journal card. If you're gonna see something, you see something. And problem with that is now I see something. I'm like, I see something. I can't help it. Too many things. This place is a mess, guys. My stuff is a mess. Now I feel like I need to do a few other color. I need to do another color, another direction. I feel like it needs to have a little bit more texture. I can't just do the orange. It's bugging me. I'm like, I can't do just one or the other. There we go. That I can handle. That I'm happy with. So if and when you take the journal card out of the slot or whatever pretty ephemera that goes in there, that is what we're looking at, and that makes it totally reasonable to look at. And since the fact that it is behind this, the orange takes it to another level and totally does that. We are going to put washi in here. I just realized I keep forgetting that these guys, as much as I love it, when I start sewing, start tearing. I love vellum, but if you over thin it out, yeah, we have problems. And I do use fabric tack to put it on the vellum because it has a tendency of being not so, you don't see it as much on the vellum when it dries. Glitter glue, you can sort of see the leftover, surprisingly, on the vellum, and so that does bug me quite a bit. Oh, no, what are you doing? Yeah, keeps trying to stick. Alright, so we're going to put it just not quite fully to the edge because we know things have to get sewn in. Might end up a little higher than I like, but that's okay. And we're going to warm it up with our fingers, and we're going to press it down. Wow, I'm going to have all kinds of pretty things. I'm going to take very interesting, do a collage picture in my previews so you can see all the pretty things and wonder what the heck I'm up to. Because I don't really have I didn't have a bunch of product out. I mean, I can throw all kinds of things out going, hey, look, sometimes when you guys can see what I ended up with, it was in the first. So then there it is. And I feel so much better. There's going to be so much more stout, and it's going to be more secure in the pocket. And when you open it, this is what you see. And I'll have washi down the middle on the inside to keep it from tearing. And then the other side is going to be very much a copy. We're going to do the same thing. But this one, as you can see, we'll tear up a top here. We'll keep it straight here. Unless, now that I think about it, I might tear down. It's sort of like the idea, right? So maybe what we tear here, we tear down here, but we leave this flat. You always bring it closer to the bottom, so it has a reason for it. And this one has a little belly band already that I chimed in with, and this will have a a cluster of some sort. We'll make some kind of floral cluster to put on the belly band to help stick whatever we want in here as a card here, and we're going to put a tag, large tag, or a skinny but tall journal card in here. So the goal on this one is not to glue top and bottom, but to glue 3 sides and have it a top insert with a belly band with a cluster on the outside. So that is what that's going to be. But you see what I did on this side, and I'm going to do the exact same thing here. We're going to reinforce it, decorate it up, and then away we go. So I think I'm going to leave you guys. I'm doing really good. I'm really happy. You see what this one is. I'll show it to you next time, how this one turned out, so you can see it. If I get it laid out right, maybe I'll do it on a short. We'll tear and glue and tear, and I'll make sure I put a cluster together that you guys can see me decorate up. And that will give us a nice little short to follow up with this one. How about that? You'll see that on a YouTube short. So if you're new to me, there are times where I'm working on something and I don't quite get something done. I'll try to do it in a 1-minute YouTube short or a 60-second reel over on Instagram. So you still get to see the next stage of me working on it, but you don't have to do all the hemming and hawing and talking and I don't know what else. But you get to see the process. But if you follow me today, you know exactly what I'm going to do. We're just going to enhance what's here and do it the exact same way we did this one. I'm loving that. I'm so sorry. I'm so in love with that. These two things turned out so well. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope this gave you some ideas if you've never used vellum. Sometimes just fold it and put it in here. It's just a piece of paper. But why not put it to good use since you can't write on it? It's a little hard. Why not glue something down, make it a pocket, make it a tuck, find ways. I've folded it before and I've done a belly band feel like this before. I mean, so many things you can do. So never be afraid to try something, play with it, see what you can do with it, and put it to good use. Make that page, still a writable page because you've put a journal card or 2 or 3 in there that you can write on, and the page doesn't go to waste. So I love you all very much. Thank you so much for watching today. I really hope you love everything you saw, all the fun, fun new ways, right? Using scraps, using different mediums. Well, that was, that's ribbon, that's canvas, that's ribbon, that's tissue, right? And we've got mesh in here, all on a coffee dyed paper, again, to utilize the page and not waste any writing space. And then there's our vellum using vintage piano paper, some parchment paper, some mesh, and some goodies to decorate it up. And we have a simple but, gorgeous pocket on a vellum piece of paper. And the back was stenciled, as we've been doing a lot of. And so if you took the journal card out and you saw it in your page, it is not a waste. It is still so pretty to have our, our leaves with our roses. And, again, nothing is wasteful and everything's gorgeous and it's super, super helpful. So, love you all very, very much. I will see you again on maybe the short tomorrow or Friday. And hopefully another video. And I will maybe, let's see, we'll have to decide. Maybe we'll do one more ephemera video where I will come up with a good idea on how to utilize this middle section. Really utilize, product and scraps and whatnot, and make this a very interactive middle section, middle of our signature for once, instead of just having a pretty piece of paper. We will work on that, and then we'll get to the cover, and before you know it, this will be done. So thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Have a wonderful Wednesday evening, since I'm assuming this is when you're going to see it, very much 4, 5, 6 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. I hope you get to see it. Otherwise, as you're winding down for the night, you got to have a little craft and chat with me. So, love you all very much. Talk to you real soon. Bye-bye.